Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm going to make an aglio olio for you today. I'm really excited about it because it's one of my favorite things to eat. Aglio olio means garlic and oil, and the first time I heard about it was a long time ago when I was reading a Marcella Hazan cookbook, and she had a little story to go with it. Italians, late at night, when they come home from the opera or the theater, sometimes they like to have a little something to eat, and this is what they make. And that sounded so romantic to me. I could imagine tossing off your top coat and kicking off your high heels and sitting down in this fabulous Tuscan kitchen and making a pot of pasta with someone you love. Now, that's not the way I live. It's also not the way I make aglio olio anymore. I've added a few things as time has gone by, and so it's my own now. But it's so good. It's so good. You will not throw one strand away. If you have leftovers, you will save it. So like I said, I have added a lot of things along the way. But here's what you'll need to make an aglio olio. Pasta. You need spaghetti, my favorite kind of pasta. I love to twirl up some spaghetti. You'll need salt. You'll need black pepper, lots of it. You'll need some anchovies. You'll need some red pepper flakes because we're going to make it spicy. Or you know what, as we go along, you're going to decide what you want more of and less of and adjust things to be the way you like them, because that's the way I believe cooking is. I don't think you should have to follow a recipe exactly, ever. You adjust it to your taste. We need parsley and we need olive oil. We have come to Olive Oil Jones. That is our company, my husband and I. We only have early harvest extra virgin olive oil. We have 5 Spanish oils. We have 2 Italian oils, and we have 1 Portuguese oil. We know all of our producers very well and only import from people that we know and trust. And early harvest olive oil is made with olives that are still green, that are harvested off the tree, that haven't fallen off black and ripe. They give a little less oil, so it might be a little more expensive, but it is filled and overflowing with the antioxidants and polyphenols that are anti-carcinogenic, that are good for diabetes, that are good for heart disease, and all of the things that you hear scientists, medical professionals, and nutritionists say that makes olive oil good for you. It's what brings your food to life. You'll see. Okay, let's start to make our pasta. I forgot one of my most important ingredients. Tomatoes. You need a 14-ounce can of tomatoes, preferably in puree. And if you're lucky enough to be able to find them, get the little cherry tomatoes in puree in cans. A cherry tomato in a can in puree is mwah. I mean, they're so much more flavorful. Put your oil in your pan. I use a liberal amount of olive oil because it's part of the sauce. Now I'm going to mash all my garlic cloves. You can see if you mash them, the skins all just pop away like loose shoes, and you can just take them off easily. A lot of garlic because I use a lot of garlic in this recipe. Okay, so I have my anchovies washed and patted dry, and I'm mincing them up in a pretty small size because I'm going to want them to almost melt in the olive oil with the garlic to make this sauce. You also might find it alarming how much garlic goes into this sauce. The more is better. This is a more is better dish. Not all dishes are like that, but this one you can't go wrong. But you know, if you're sensitive to garlic, maybe you want to start off with a little bit of a smaller portion. One thing is you want to keep this at a warmish temperature because you want to soften your garlic and melt your anchovies, but you don't want to burn your garlic. Burnt garlic is very bitter, whereas gently cooked garlic becomes very sweet and delicious. I cook this at a very low temperature until I put my tomatoes in. I usually cut my parsley, the tips off with a kitchen scissors, and it makes it so much easier after doing that to just mince it up with the knife. All right, now I'm going to grind fresh black pepper into the sauce. First, add a little salt, but I really give it my all with the black pepper, and I just go to town, as you can see, grinding it up. And then I'm going to put a lot of red pepper flakes too. Using it with the warm oil really brings out everything it has in flavor for you. Now, when I put my tomatoes in, the liquid from the tomatoes helps keep the garlic from burning. So you can I mash these sweet little cherry tomatoes with the old potato masher that I've had for probably 20 years. So good, looking good already. And here you can see after, just, I think it was less than 10 minutes, how the tomatoes have cooked down, and you already have this burnished red sauce with melted anchovies and garlic. I'm gonna pop the pasta in. Little oil, little salt. I like to throw the chopped parsley in at the very last minute and keep it really bright green. Just the visual of the green is so nice. And the pasta's done. I usually bite into a few strands before I know that it's done, but you can pretty much tell. This sauce is, I don't know. I don't know if you can imagine how it tastes, but it's so divine. You just have to toss and toss and toss to really get the pasta covered with the oil and anchovies and tomatoes and parsley.